Coming up on Valley View News, many students are struggling with work and school. As part of our ongoing series, we will look at the real cost of a college education. And the term transgender might change its meaning under the Trump administration.
Hello, and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Bassam Shakhta.
And I'm Brian Bruman. As part of our ongoing series on the college price tag, we have reports on students who are trying to make it through school while facing various challenges. You might think of college students as spoiled kids. The stereotype is that they live in dorms with all expenses paid, 4 years of fun.
College can seem like the pretty easy path to success after a few years of school at their parents' expense. But our reporters have gathered stories on students who are quite the opposite. For the people we spoke to, college has not been an easy ride.
We visited a community college student who had to wait some time before going to college. She became her own financial support before and during school. Here's a story from Valley View News reporter Nicole Martinez.
Many students who want to pursue higher education go to college right after high school. But the financial cost of college can be a setback like it was for Christina Munoz. She chose to go to Los Angeles Mission College while working full-time.
I wasn't getting financial aid. I had to save up, go to work, save up, and then I knew once I had enough, I would be able to go back to school.
Munoz took 4 years after high school before going to college. During that time, she became a full-time worker and her dad passed away from prostate cancer. Because she doesn't have financial support from her parents, it's hard for her to pay for her education.
My mom was in between jobs. She really couldn't keep a job. I feel like it's always been me. It's always had to fall on me. If I wanted something, even if I, wanted to go get something to buy for myself, we didn't really have the money. I had to work for myself and save up.
Although community college is a cheaper route, she still owes money for her classes and has other bills to pay. Whether she's at work doing inventory, cleaning phones, or checking accounts, she knows she must still make time to study and go to class, even if it's stressful.
It is a little bit hard because, there's assignments that are due. You have to have time so you can study, but at the same time, working a full job, I have to kind of commit to that at the same time. It's difficult, but I find time.
Once Munoz finishes her general ed classes, she aspires to transfer to a 4-year college. She wants to become a cancer nurse for patients like her late father and her grandpa. The only thing that could set her back is herself and a lack of financial assistance. In Silmar, I'm Nicole Martinez, Valley View News.
Because of the high cost of college, many students take on jobs to help pay for their education. Taking on too much work can hurt grades, however. New studies show that working more than 15 hours a week can delay graduation.
To go to work and study is real tough. And sometimes I just okay, it is just a job. I guess if they fire me or something, I just can find another one. But it's tough. It is tough to make that decision. Sometimes it's a little bit easier, but it is tough.
Federal statistics show that 27% of full-time students work more than 20 hours a week. That number is higher for part-time students. 70% of them work 20 hours a week also. If you can afford to not work, it's advised to focus on your education. Officials are thinking of expanding the Cal Grant program to help cover more costs, so Cal Grant receivers can focus on school and not work.
Mental health is sometimes overlooked when it comes to college students. Valley View's Isabel Ochoa tells us more.
The daily lives of individual college students can be very different. What are some college students susceptible to? Getting anxiety, stress, or depression. Daniela Silva, a recent graduate from UC Davis, tells us how anxiety affected her ability to manage her academic life.
Depending on what you're going through, it could affect you just being in class. For example, anxiety, you might not just want to go to class, or you're just anxious about everything and anything.
Some students who experience mental illness try to seek help through counseling services. Enrique Ramirez, a student coordinator at the Blues Project at CSUN, says he wants to eliminate the stigma associated with having a mental illness.
If I'm able to do it and kind of give back to them in that sense and see how I've learned from it and how it can be implemented in their life, I feel like that could really make a change in someone's life.
Opening up to a therapist or family member can be scary. Luis Zamora, a CSUN kinesiology student, explains the importance of asking for help.
Just going to your own parents, your family, everyone's very understanding, even though a lot of us don't think they are.
The stigma of mental illness weighs heavily in society. Yasmin Irfani from the Blues Project says she wants to help create a safe space on campus for students.
An environment and campus culture where it's okay to talk about not being okay and seeking out help without feeling the stigma.
There are counseling services and events available on many college campuses. For example, here at CSUN, the Blues Project hosts their annual Beat the Blues Week in November. In Northridge, I'm Isabel Ochoa for Valley View News.
And so, with all the hardships that come along with college, is it worth it to stick it out to the end? Research says long-term income benefits are still better for college graduates versus those who don't graduate. The California Competes Policy Institute shows college grads have higher rates of health insurance coverage and home ownership. And that makes sense when you consider the cost of living in California, especially in expensive areas like San Francisco or LA. Of people who make more than $75,000 a year, college graduates more than double those that don't finish college. As real estate prices and rents rise, it's getting harder for many people to survive in California without making more money. On our next Valley View, we'll have more reports on the college price tag.
Another group has been targeted by the Trump administration. Valley View News' Chris Farias has more on the story.
The Trump administration is planning to change the definition of the word transgender. The New York Times got a leaked memo draft with detailed plans. CSUN's Pride Center student assistant Charlie Facio says the administration continues to misuse their power.
This is, of course, an attack on the trans community, and we understand how this wealthy, cis, hetero-patriarchal administration continues to flex their power because they're ignorant to such issues.
The manager at the Pride Center, Serena Loeb, says the center is deeply saddened by the direction the administration is moving.
I hope that the administration doesn't move forward with their memo and proposals because I think it's discriminatory and damaging to folks.
Although the administration is targeting this community, Loeb says standing together is something she's hopeful for.
I think that this memo is definitely a step in the wrong direction, but I think that we as a community need to stand together and support our trans and non-binary siblings and really, make sure that memos like these and bills like these don't pass, and that we continue to step up and stand and show up for our trans community.
The executive director of the Transgender Law Center says that the transgender people will be devastated with this impact. That includes their life at work, their life at school, and healthcare. Reporting from CSUN for Valley View News, I'm Chris Farias.
A so-called caravan of migrants heading to the U.S. from Central America has gained the attention of the Trump administration. President Trump tweeted that the United States will cut foreign aid to several Central American countries, letting their people leave in the caravan. Many migrants are fleeing violence in Honduras, along with its poverty and a lack of jobs.
Our message is we're not criminals. We're coming over here because we want to work. We need a job. We need better, a better life. That's why we're here.
In 2017, the U.S. gave more than $500 million in funding to the 3 Central American countries mentioned in the tweet. Parts of the caravan have made it inside Mexico already. It's only 900 miles from the U.S. border.
Hurricane Willa became a strong Category 5 storm Monday morning, making its way to the Mexican coast. The National Hurricane Center says the storm is potentially catastrophic, with landfall south of Mazatlan. Some regions can face up to 18 inches of rain. Some parts of southern Texas and central Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi may also experience rain.
President Trump is campaigning for his 2016 presidential rival Ted Cruz. Cruz is fighting to keep his Senate seat. The president headed to Houston, Texas, Cruz's home, to speak in support of the man he once called Lion Ted. The midterm elections may put Republican control of Congress in jeopardy, and the president wants to prevent that from happening. Trump says his new nickname for Cruz is Beautiful Ted.
CSUN hosted its 3rd annual Fethiye de Educación. The event kicked off after ribbon cutting. The education fair lasted all day, focusing on providing educational resources to young students and their families. Many companies participated in the event that promotes higher education opportunities for the Latino community. Wells Fargo gave scholarships to 4 students like CSUN's Stephanie Cuba.
I'm really excited. I didn't think I was going to get it in the beginning, but when I got that call, it was surprising, but full of emotions to get it, and I'm just really happy.
The event was sponsored by Univision Los Angeles, the California State University Chancellor's Office, and CSUN.
Media plays a huge role in a person's daily routine. Valley View News reporter Veronica Barriga tells us how understanding the messages in that media can be improved.
Billboards, films, magazines, video games, music, and of course, the internet. Media is everywhere we go and a huge part of our daily routine.
I use my phone a lot and video games.
I'm currently using Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
News feeds. I'm a YouTube junkie.
A recent eMarketers report says U.S. adults spend about 12 hours a day consuming media, while children average around 8. Tessa Joels, president of the Center for Media Literacy, says this is just one of the reasons why media literacy needs to be embraced.
It's the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, create, and participate with media messages in all their forms.
Joel says media images are constructed with embedded values and exist mostly for profit or to gain power. Michelle Jensen is working with Joel's to mandate media literacy be taught in classrooms and also to spread public awareness on the issue.
The flow of information has changed. There are fewer gatekeepers. People need to be able to think a little bit more critically when they are looking at where something's coming from.
The center hopes to empower through education and enable the public to make better informed decisions when consuming media. In Hollywood, I'm Veronica Barriga reporting.
There's more diversity than ever in the modeling industry. Valley View News reporter Savannah DeMarco explains why.
Somewhere between a size 2 and a 12 are models someplace in the middle. A recent study done by the Fashion Spot says plus-size models are walking in more runway shows. In times when diversity is becoming a standard, the modeling industry seems to have forgotten about the women in between.
Agencies where I came in and I went on an open call and they were like, well, we don't know what to do with you.
Straight-size models must follow a strict diet to maintain a thin figure. Some girls reject this standard and return to their natural sizes. However, straight-size modeling agencies don't sign women who are above a size 2, leaving these healthy models to consider plus-size modeling.
I'm a size 4. So to be called a plus-size model and to be signed with a plus-size agency at size 4 is like, come on, people.
Considering a healthy size as a plus size is dangerous for not only the models, but also to young girls. A European health study says girls experience lower body satisfaction after seeing images of thin models. Yet these girls thought better of themselves when they were shown average-size models.
And what does that say to young people that your goal is to get to 0, right? Like to make yourself as small as possible, to disappear.
Though the modeling industry is making leaps and bounds in terms of diversity, it is still yet to find a middle ground. Reporting from Hollywood, I'm Savannah DeMarco.
And it looks like our series on college costs has an entertainment angle to it. Daria Hariri is here to tell us about Beyonce and Jay-Z's On the Run tour and the scholarship fund. Daria.
Thank you, Brian. Yes, that's right. Over the summer, Beyonce and Jay-Z started a scholarship program giving 11 high school seniors $100,000. One student from 11 of the cities in the On the Run 2 tour was given a scholarship. DJ Khaled announced each winner.
Tonight, this student will be receiving a $100,000 scholarship from Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Recipients had to show academic excellence and a financial need that made it difficult for them to afford college. This is the third scholarship program started by Beyonce in 2 years. In April, Beyonce gave $25,000 scholarships to 8 students at historically black colleges and universities. Last year, she created the Formation Scholars Program, giving scholarships to 4 female students. Angelina Jolie is visiting Peru this week through the United Nations Refugee Agency. She's on a 3-day mission to look at the conditions of Venezuelan refugees living in Peru.
To help people understand that the situation in Venezuela is not just something where somebody wants to move to get a better job, but that it's like a war zone. It sounds like it's so much more serious than people realize what is happening.
Es mucho más serio de lo que
medical, with your money. She'll also meet Peru government officials and humanitarian groups. She'll visit programs helping asylum seekers, refugees, and their host families. Jolie wants to see firsthand Peru's generous response to helping Venezuelan refugees. Actress and comedian Julia Louis-Dreyfus won the Mark Twain Prize for Lifetime Achievement in Comedy. She's the 6th woman to receive this award. She began her comedic career on SNL before playing Elaine for 9 years on Seinfeld. Soon after that, she landed the role of Vice President Selena Meyer on Veep, which earned her 6 Emmy Awards. The 7th and final season of Veep was delayed while she was receiving treatment for breast cancer. After beating that, the final season is now in production. I'm out of here. I'll see you later. That's your entertainment, and I'm Daria Hariri.
Thanks, Daria. More to come on Valley View News. A floor collapsed in an apartment during a fraternity party.
And our sports reporter Brandon Benitez tells us about student athletes keeping up with their scholarships. Stay with us.
CSUN's campus newspaper, the Sundial, has been working hard on so many stories.
For a look into the week's headlines, here's the Sundial's editor-in-chief, Augustine Garcia.
Thanks, Prasom and Brian. Last week, the Sundial published 2 stories. One was how the athletics director aims to fill up every seat at the Metrodome. And another story was on how Asian and Western culture are fusing together in music, entertainment, food, and more. The Sundial is also now accepting work for our Arts and Late edition. So if you have photos, stories, artwork, or just want some information, email us at ane@csun.edu. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Augustine. President Trump is ordering the process for a federal water project in California to be simplified. The Central Valley Project and 2 other projects will divert more water for the use of farmers. Environmental groups have been fighting to slow down the completion of these projects. Trump wants environmental reviews of federal waterworks to be combined and made easier.
A floor collapsed at Clemson University as students danced and jumped during a fraternity party at an apartment clubhouse. One student said they could feel the floor about to break, but nobody thought it was going to happen. 30 people were injured after landing in the basement. There were many broken bones and cuts. Some students seemed happy that they were not part of any life-threatening injuries. The collapse happened in an apartment building that was from 2004. Police are still investigating the situation.
The Khashoggi murder mystery continues to develop, among other stories around the world. Catherine Molina in our Digital Media Center has an international news update.
Thank you, Brian. Ryanair received backlash after a video went viral showing a passenger making racist remarks. A Caucasian man is seen threatening to push an elderly black woman into another seat. Ryanair attendants didn't remove the man from the plane after the incident. Ryanair released a statement saying they're aware of the video and have reported it to the Essex police. 18 people died and at least 178 were injured in a Taiwan train derailment. 8 train carriages derailed, 5 of those overturning. The train was traveling between the cities Shulin and Taidong and was carrying 366 passengers. The cause of the derailment is still under investigation. One of the men suspected of involvement in the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi was caught on surveillance video supposedly dressed in Khashoggi's clothes. The footage shows a man arriving at the Saudi consulate. He leaves then wearing Khashoggi's clothes, a fake beard, and glasses. A Turkish official said the man was brought into Istanbul to serve as a body double, but that has not been confirmed. The surveillance is another clue leading to exactly what happened to Khashoggi almost 3 weeks ago. An Australian surfer had a lucky getaway after fighting off a shark. 51-year-old Paul Kenny was surfing in New South Wales when a shark latched onto his arm. He said he started punching it until it let go.
Where is it? And is it coming back to take me legs? That's what I was worried about. If it took me legs, I was gone.
The surfer received 20 stitches after the incident. That's it from around the world. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Now let's get the latest on sports with Brandon Benitez. How are my Rams doing, Brandon?
Rams are rolling, Sammy. They headed to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers, but the Niners held a ceremony before the game unveiling statues of Hall of Famer Joe Montana and teammate Dwight Clark. The statues celebrate the game-winning catch Montana threw to Clark, sending them to their first Super Bowl. The added motivation didn't help much, though. Fourth quarter, and the Rams are steamrolling the Niners 32-10. Jared Goff takes the snap off play action and finds Todd Gurley, who zooms down the sideline into the end zone, scoring his third touchdown of the game. He wasn't the only superstar that showed up, though. Later in the fourth quarter, Rams up by 29. Third and short, Aaron Donald bull rushes up the middle and just mauls C.J. Beathard. The defensive lineman finished with a career-high 4-sack performance. Rams finish off their division rival 39-10, moving to 7-0. The Chargers traveling across the pond to take on the Titans in London. Phillip Rivers gets things cooking. First quarter, Rivers takes the snap and drops back in the pocket, steps up, then heaves it down the field to the left sideline for Tyrell Williams. He takes it 75 yards for the early 7-3 lead. Titans rally back, though. It's a close game late in the fourth. Tennessee's down by 7. Fourth and goal, Marcus Mariota throws it to Luke Stalker, who secures the catch with the defender on him. Titans decide to go for 2 instead of tying it. Mariota looks around the end zone under heavy pressure and is forced to throw it away. Chargers defense comes up big and wins 20-19. The Chargers move to 5-2, but still sit in second place behind the Kansas City Chiefs. Chris Wimmer was recruited out of Germany to play for the CSUN's men's soccer team. Wimmer is in his second year of school. He explains how he keeps his scholarship here at CSUN.
Definitely to do good in school. So we have a certain GPA we have to be over to still get our scholarship. I think it's at least over 2.5.
The NCAA limited the number of full ride and partial tuition scholarships that Division I schools can offer. Division I schools are limited to 85 full ride scholarships. For many international students, coming to the States is their dream. Wimmer works hard on and off the pitch to keep his scholarship. Being able to play soccer while going to school is just step one for Wimmer's future. The first ever draft pick of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks had his number 9 jersey retired before their game against the Buffalo Sabres. Paul Correa played 15 years in the NHL, 9 of which were with Anaheim. He entered the Hall of Fame in 2017. Correa joins his longtime line mate and friend Teemu Selanne's number 8 in the rafters. We pick up in the game, second period, Ducks leading by 1. Kiefer Sherwood nets the breakaway goal, beating Carter Hutton. Buffalo battles back with 2 quick goals to end the second. Then 3 minutes into the third, Rasmus Ristolainen blasts this power play goal past Ryan Miller to take the 3-2 lead. Anaheim comes close to evening the score with less than a minute in the game. Hutton and his defense stymied them at every turn, though. The Sabres won the game 4-2 after an empty net goal. Unranked, Purdue hosted number 2 Ohio State and had some extra motivation in attendance. 20-year-old Purdue student Tyler Trent is battling terminal bone cancer. Trent endured several bouts with cancer but vowed to be at this game and even predicted the Boilermakers to win. The crowd rallied behind Trent with signs saying Tyler strong and cancer sucks. On the field, Purdue took it to Ohio State. Fourth quarter, Purdue's up by 15. DJ Knox runs up the middle, juking the safety for the 42-yard touchdown. Boilermakers lead 28-6. Knox finished with 128 yards and 3 touchdowns. Later in the fourth, David Blouff throws it to Rondale Moore in the flat, who runs over the entire Ohio State defense. He scores the 43-yard touchdown. Moore caught 12 balls for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. Purdue demolishes Ohio State 49-20. This is the first time Purdue beat a top 5 team since 1999 when they beat number 5 ranked Michigan State. That's all for sports. Brian and Bassam, back to you.
Thanks, Brandon. Coming up next on Valley View News, Japan holds the title for longest life expectancy, but another country is about to take that place.
Also, a Detroit couple ends a marathon with a special ceremony. Stay with us.
Hey there, Mrs. Carter. You can earn over 10% on your money if you deposit your savings into our investment program.
Lucky sweepstakes winner.
Mrs.
Just
Carter,
enter your contact information and your winnings will
Grandma, it's me. Please help me. I'm stuck in Ohio and my wallet was stolen. Please send me some money so I can get home.
Millions of people, especially seniors, are targeted every day by an array of fraudulent scams through online technology. Please be aware.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Jenny Craig's chicken wraps are getting recalled for contaminated vegetables. The SK Food Group found their chicken wrap products contained salmonella and listeria. 2 of their food suppliers for corn, caramelized mushrooms, and dried tomatoes may be contaminated as well. But there haven't been any reports of people getting sick from eating these meals.
Netflix is borrowing money, and lots of it, to help pay for its programming bills. $2 billion are needed to help pay for their exclusive series and movies, which help them get new subscribers, while the company's debt grew to $11.8 billion. But borrowing money did lead Netflix to gaining 100 million new subscribers since 2013. The company said they'll add another 9.4 million subscribers by the end of this year. A new transit system will be previewing later this year.
Here's Melanie Rosales with social media, tech, and health news.
Elon Musk's company will reveal its rapid transit test tunnel. The test tunnel is being used to research the company's tunneling and public transportation system. They'll travel on an electric-powered platform called a skate. People will be swept through the system's tunnel at 150 miles per hour. The transit tunnel will be located in Hawthorne in December. Connecticut reported the first flu death of this season. The state's health department didn't identify the patient, but says that the flu-related activity has been increasing since August. State health officials say the virus sent 22 people to the hospital. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says anyone 6 months and older should get vaccinated before the end of October. A new study shows that not getting enough exercise can be worse for your health than smoking, diabetes, or heart disease. Dr. Wale Jabier, who led the study, says researchers should tell the public about the risks of being unfit. Jabier found that people who didn't perform well on a treadmill test have double the risks of dying than people with kidney failure on dialysis. He says people who have inactive lifestyles should be told to exercise. Spain will soon be Japan in having the longest life expectancy. Researchers from the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation found that on average, Spaniards live up to 85.8 years, barely surpassing Japan at 85.7. Meanwhile, the U.S. dropped 63rd place with a life expectancy of 79.8 years. An increase in drug-related deaths and obesity plays a big role in the U.S.'s plummeting numbers. Spain is on track to take Japan's title by 2040. That's all I have for today in social media, tech, and health news. I'm Melanie Rosales. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Melanie. 2 runners in the Detroit Marathon decided to make it official and get married right before the finish line. Whitney Black and Stephen Phillips decided to tie the knot halfway through the marathon. The couple says this fits the relationship perfectly.
Whitney, I give you this ring.
That you may wear it.
That you may wear it.
As a reminder of my love for you.
As a reminder of my love for you.
They entered the race unmarried but finished as a newlywed couple. Well, that's all for us at Valley View News. Thank you for watching. I'm Bassam Shakta.
And I'm Brian Baruman. For news at any time of day, go to our website, sundial.csun.edu. See you next week.